This is Tony, and finally I was able to get to this image and start analyzing this image to find out exactly what we're looking at. And most of us already know that this is a really popular image on the internet, or was very popular, for the fact that the Mars orbiter on one day took this image and there's no anomaly here. Then on a separate day, this anomaly popped up. Of course, it does look like a nuclear detonation of some type, because it has what looks like a typical um, mushroom cloud at the top, and then there's one at the bottom. So we have to look at this uh, in more of a scientific way as far as a nuclear detonation. Mars has very thin air, it has low gravity, and the atmospheric pressure is also low. So that means that if this was a nuclear detonation, it wouldn't form like it would on our planet, because the physics to this planet and the dynamics are a lot different than it would be on Mars. So if there was a nuclear explosion, the pillar would have been a lot higher with a smaller mushroom shape at the top of it. It would not be this wide, and because the air is so thin, there would have been still a dust storm that would surround this area. Of course, it's not there. So why is it not in this first image? Okay, so it's really quite easy if you take a really close look at this image. There's a round circle. It looks like something had been blotted out. And then here's another, and this texture is the same texture as this is, which means that they used some type of filter, and it was quite heavy filter, and that's the reason this area is so smooth. And you can see this is detailed and this isn't. So the structure is there. This structure is here. Now here's on the one day when the Mars orbiter took this image. You can see right here. Here's that mushroom cloud shape that we were looking at, and then here's the other lower cloud effect. But these aren't clouds. As you can tell already, this was some type of tower. And then when I light it up, you can really see where it was obfuscated here, and then on the base, and there was some obfuscation over in this area of the image. So we're going to take a look at this image. This is the Valles Marineris area, which is supposedly a mega canyon. It actually isn't, and one day if I get back to this image, I'll explain it to you. But there's actually two main artifacts that you can see really well in this image. And of course, here's the mushroom cloud that everybody's been talking about. So I'm going to drop down on deck first, and we're going to take a closer look at this tower. Now, the reason that I know it's a artificially and intelligently built structure is because there is a rectangle with perfect 90-degree angles on it. There's also a perfect 90-degree in this structure. This right here is not part of the structure. I know it looks like it because it's at the angle it was taken. It looked like it is, but it isn't. It's some type of a building or some type of wall that is on the ground or on the surface area of Mars. And then here's a shadow for it. Also, this is some other type of structure. This is not part of this tower here. And then there's that triangle that's more visible here. And then you see this gap in this area. That's because this structure it's just deteriorating, and it's starting to collapse. because it's collapsed over here, it's like chopping down a tree. When you cut down one side, you weaken it and it will fall in that direction. And that's the reason it's tilted this way. And if you look close enough, there's something coming off of this tower also right in this area. I wasn't able to clean this up well enough to know exactly what this structure is, except I know that it was a tower that is deteriorating. And then you can see with the image vertical, this is separate, and then this is separate. Right here is the structure, and then there's another structure on top of it. Has some type of geometric shape to it, and then it has like portals on each side. Okay, in this image, I processed it where we can see more of the structural part of it. It's a triangle. See, it goes around here. I'm going to make another adjustment. Triangle shaped base here. That square empty spot that we looked at on that previous image where it showed that there was not a structure there, this is what we were looking at. See where it's rounded out here on this structure? And then you can see where it's kind of got a split in that stem, and it's tilted this way. It may have fallen over on its side onto the surface of Mars, but because of the nature of these images, there's no way of actually clearing that up to confirm it. And then here's just a different take on this image. See where it's deteriorated here and it's slightly deteriorated in this area. And then you can see this structure sitting on top of this tower. So what I like to do is when I do these images, especially when I find some type of structure, I like to confirm it by finding another structure in the area. And sometimes it's not possible, but in this image, to confirm this structure, that this is a structure, there's actually a structure over here. And here's a close of it. Here's the base of it. It goes up. Of course, it's like I say, this stuff is so deteriorated and so old it's falling apart, but this part is still standing. And there's like a plate or a base that looks like maybe this was attached to, but all this stuff has deteriorated and has collapsed in. Here's a different take. You can see that plate again. You can see the structure. Then I'm going to colorize it. And you can really see the plate now here and this structure or tower or whatever it was. And then I super highlighted it, and then you can see the different elements in it. So now we know this was the structure here, and it was just the way it was obfuscated, and a lot of these anomalies and stuff was just really basically, however they did it, they covered up almost like an airbrushing technique, and that's the reason this was covered up. And now we know that the anomaly is here. It's been filtered out. Okay, everyone. Appreciate you watching. This is Tony with Earth Files Earth History signing out.